Hi guys, today we're going to be doing some extra practice for your quarterly exam that you're having tomorrow. So let's dive in. Okay, the first question, that didn't work so well. The first question says, when solving 2 times x minus 1 minus 7 equals 3x plus 2, Marcus wrote this as his first step. Which property justifies Marcus's first step? What's the difference between this and this? What has changed? Hopefully you notice that the negative 7 that used to be here is no longer there. So we don't have a negative 7 over here anymore. Also, before we had a 2, now we have a 9. What do you think happened? Hopefully, your brain is telling you that you're adding 7 to both sides. The 7 will cancel out. That's why there's nothing here. And then 2 plus 7 is 9. So we're adding 7 to both sides of the equation. So that's going to be not our multiplication property of equality, not the distributive property because we didn't distribute, but the addition property of equality. All right. Addition property of equality is when you add the same quantity to both sides of an equation. Next up, a linear equation has a slope of negative 1/2 and a y-intercept of 5. So we got an m, negative 1/2, b of 5. So if I know y equals mx plus b, I can now plug my negative 1/2 in for m and my 5 in for b. So y equals negative 1/2 x plus 5. Now you might be wondering, how does this help you? The question isn't asking you what the equation of the line is. The question is asking you which point is on this line. So what you can do is go into your calculator into y equals and put that equation in y1. So this is all calc work here, calc. Go into y equals and graph it, negative 1 over 2x plus 5. And look at the table. Now this is my table of values. I'm going to jot it down. I see that I have 0, 5. Then I have 1, 4.5, 2, 4. That pretty much eliminates 0, 0, and 2, 6. And if I go down a little bit further, I have 4, 3, and then 6, 2, which is exactly what I'm looking for. So you're just going to put y equals negative 1/2 x plus 5 in your y equals table, and you're going to press second graph to find your table of values. So this is all in the calculator. You can also plug them each into this equation here and see what works. Okay, so for example, for 6, 2, right, we have 6 as the x, and then we have 2 as the y. So let's see, does 2 equal negative 1/2 times 6 plus 5? All right, negative 1/2 of 6. Half of 6 is 3. Negative 1/2 of 6 is negative 3. Is negative 3 plus 5 equal to 2? Yes, it is. So this point is both algebraically a solution and graphically a solution. The next question says, the expression blah is undefined when the value of x is, well, something's undefined when the denominator equals 0. All right, so you take the denominator, set it equal to 0, solve for x. So the value that makes this expression undefined is where x is equal to negative 2. Negative 2 only. All right, if you had x plus 2 and you said 2 plus 2, if you said 2 would make it undefined, you're wrong because 2 plus 2 is 4. And 4 is not 0, so no, it's only negative 2. All right, next up, the sum of 3 consecutive even integers. So we're thinking of 3 numbers. If it's consecutive even, we always start with x, x plus 2, x plus 4. All right, the sum means to add. So you're going to do x, the sum of these 3 integers is 72. So this is your equation. You're adding up the first, the second, and the third, adding it up, setting it equal to 72 because it says the sum is 72. So we have 3x plus 6 equals 72. Subtract 6 from both sides. 3x is equal to 66. X is equal to 22. So I can't circle 22 because it says which one is the middle integer. I know my first integer is 22. My second is 22 plus 2, or 24. That's what I'm looking for. Next up. Oh, that didn't go to plan. All right, this is an issue here because this is confusing. This should have said, this is what it should have said, f of x equals 3x plus 2 radical x. All right, because when it says f of 16, you're probably like, f, where's f? There's no f here at all. It should have said this, so forgive me. So when you have something in the parentheses, that means plug in. Just plug it in. So to find f of 16, you're going to do 3 times 16 plus 2 times the square root of 16. So put this right in your calculator. 3 parentheses 16 plus 2 radical 16. Enter. And you get 56, choice B. All right. We're given 4 different numbers. A is radical 5, B is -1, C is 1/3, and D is 5.5. Now it is important to notice, okay? This number, the square root of 5, if you put that in your calculator, you're going to get a not nice number. You're going to get the square root of 5 is something like 2.23606, keeps going. Now 1/3 is rational. 5.5 is a terminating decimal, which is rational. And the -1, of course, is an integer, so it's rational. The only thing that's irrational is the square root of 5. I'm trying to write this, and it's not working. Rational. That works. Okay, which expression results in a rational number? So anything, when you're adding d plus a, that's going to be the square root of 5 plus 5.5. Guys, this is going to be irrational. Because if I'm taking a crazy number like 2.23606, blah, 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 and adding on 5.5, I'm going to get 7.736067977, blah, blah, blah. And if I hit math, enter, enter, it can't be converted to fraction. So can't be converted to a fraction. Okay, let's try this next one, D plus C. So D is 5.5 plus C is 1/3. 5.5 plus 1/3. That is 5.83 repeating. And if I hit math, enter, enter, I get 35/6. So this is rational because it can be converted into the fraction 35/6. Okay? Next up, what is the sum? Ooh, there's that word again, sum. That means we have to add 2m squared plus 3m minus 4 and m squared minus 3m minus 2. Okay, so we're going to add them. 2m squared plus m squared is 3m squared. Your 3m's will cancel out because we have one positive, one negative. Okay? And then we have -4 and -2, which is -6, so it's choice A. So add them, combine like terms. Which value of x is included? Is included. So which value of x is working? Okay. Distribute. We have negative 6x minus 12 is less than 12. Solve for x. So we're going to add this 12 to the other side. Negative 6x is less than 24. Okay. Now, when we divide both sides by a negative, that means our inequality symbol has to change. All right, it flips. So x is greater than negative 4. Don't forget your negatives. Now, what does this mean to you? Well, it means in the solution set, my numbers must be greater than negative 4. So a number line is the best way to see this. If I put negative 4 in the middle, I have to have an open circle. I have to have an open circle because there's no line underneath it. And I'm pointing my arrow to the right. So let's see. To the right of negative 4 should be negative 3, negative 2, negative 1. To the left of negative 4 should be negative 5, negative 6, negative 7. So the only number in my list, negative 4 doesn't work. That's the trap. Cross it off. Negative 3 is the only one that is larger than negative 4. Negative 5 is over here. Negative 6 is over here. That doesn't work. So your answer is negative 3. Okay, solve the following equation for y. We want to get the y by itself. So we're going to first add the 24x. Don't try to separate the 4 and the y. Remember, they're married. You don't touch them yet. So this is 4y is equal to 24x minus 16. Then you divide everything by 4. That cancels out. Y is equal to 6x minus 4, which is choice D. A function is defined by 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and 7, 2. Ivan is asked to create one more ordered pair for the function. Which ordered pair cannot be added? All right, so pay careful attention to that part. Cannot be added. Now, a set of ordered pairs is a function if the x values don't repeat. So the x values can never repeat. So I'm looking for the point that would make this not a function. So which choice has a repeating, would add a repeating x value to the mix? All right, it would be choice A, because 0 would repeat. 9 is not represented, 4 is not represented, and negative 3 is not represented. Remember, the y values can repeat. The y values can repeat, it's just the x values that can't repeat. So the next question says subtract negative x squared plus 2x minus 4 from 6x squared minus 5x plus 2. So you're going to subtract, but you have to set this up properly. You have to have from come first. So 6x squared minus 5x plus 2 comes first, and negative x squared plus 2x minus 4 comes next. So you're going to set it up like that, put your 1 there, and distribute the 1. So we have positive x squared minus 2x plus 4. And then down comes all of this. So we have 6x squared plus 1x, that's 7x squared, negative 5x minus 2x, negative 7x, and then positive 2 plus 4 plus 6. So this is your solution. The degree is 2. The leading coefficient is 7. The constant is positive 6. Just in case you wanted to know, in case you were interested. The next one. I would have my calculator ready to go for a problem like this as soon as I see fractions, okay? So we're going to first distribute the negative 1/3. So we have 4 minus 1/3 x. And now we have to distribute negative 1/3. So put negative 1/3 in your calculator times 2. Math, enter, enter, because you're going to get 0.6666 repeating. So it's going to be negative 2 over 3 is equal to 2x. Now, on the left-hand side, we see we have some like terms, the 4 and the negative 2/3. So let's combine those. So we're going to do 4 minus 2/3. 4 minus 2 over 3. Math, enter, enter. And that is 10/3. So we're going to put 10/3 minus 1/3 x is equal to 2x. Okay, so now I need to get this x over here. So let us just add 1/3 x to the other side. Plus 1/3 x. Cancels out. This comes down. 10 over 3 is equal to 2 plus 1/3. 2 plus parentheses 1 over 3. Math, enter, enter. That's going to be 7 over 3 x. So let's get that x by itself by multiplying both sides by the reciprocal. So that's times 3 over 7. This cancels out with this. 7's cancel out. So x is equal to the product of 3 over 7. So we're multiplying parentheses 3 over 7 times parentheses 10 over 3. And we get a crazy decimal, 1.42857, 1.4 blah, 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 blah. Math, enter, enter. And you're going to put 10 over 7 as your answer. Okay? So, name of the game, use your calculator, combine like terms, distribute. Guys, all calculator work. Same deal. And then finally down here, is the product of radical 16 and 4/3 rational or irrational? Well, radical 16, product multiplied by 4 over 3. Gives you something like 5.3 repeating. And everyone and their grandmother knows that 5.3 repeating is rational because it can be converted to a fraction. So it is rational. The product can be converted to a fraction. And that's that. So this was your homework tonight, 1 through 13. You should be fine for the quarterly if this stuff makes sense for you. If it doesn't, I will be in school tomorrow morning. All right? So, good luck.